A pleasant day. We are here to present our Java program representing two of the four pillars of OOP, Encapsulation and Inheritance. I am Aguiluz Emmanuele Peregrin, and the name of my group mates is Lawrence, Dave Tolentino, and John Ruiz Yema. Our program consists of a total of 5 classes and the main method. Three are the food E, commuting E, entertainment E, child class, while the parent and expense are the parent. So the brief overview of our program. The program we made was simply simple. It's all about financial tracker for students to help them manage their finances by tracking daily allowances, expenses, and savings goals. It prompts the user to enter their name, daily allowance, number of school days, and savings goal, allowing them to categorize and record expenses as food, commuting, and entertainment utilizing object-oriented programming principles. The program features a student parent class to encapsulate student data and child classes for different expenses types that inherit from a parent expense class. At the end, it calculates and displays a summary of the weekly finances including allowance, total expenses, remaining budget, and saving goal progress, along with the budgeting tips to promote financially responsibility.
So first, before we discuss to you the flow or the execution of our program in the main method, we will firstly discuss to you the three child classes we use. So the child classes we use is the food e-child class, the commuting e-child class, and then the entertainment e-child class. So these three classes are the one who receives the expenses input by the user, and then once these child classes receives the input, they are they call they or they call their parent class, which is the expense parent class. So this class are the one who receives all the type of the expenses inputted by the user. So this constructor are the one who receives the all the types of the expenses, and these attributes are the one who stores the expenses. And then later on, we can use this by calling this method. So next is the other parent class we use. So these are the student parent class. So these parent class are the one who receives or manage the other information inputted by the user, like the name, daily allowance, school days, and saving goals. So these information are inputted by the user in the main method, and then the main method pass it in this parent class, which were these constructors get or the main method pass on. Then later on, the information passed through this constructor will be stores in these attributes, and then again later on will be used or we can use by calling these methods we made, which is the getters. And then after that, on the other hand, we got the setters. So this one changes every time the user input or set a saving goals he or she have in mind. So next, let's proceed to the main method. So here we will explain to you the flow or execution of our program. So first we got here the line, which is scanner, which will let us or let the user or let our program scan what will be the user input. So after that, we make a line which will let the user input the necessary information we need in our program, like the name, allowance, then the number of school days per week. Then after that, we also got a line in here which will check if the inputted information about this part or line is in between a 1 day to 6 day. Then after that, we make in here or we instantiate or make a new object. So here we declare, and then we got the identifier, the instantiation, and then the initialization. So this is where the information will go inputted in this part, and then this one will pass it to the parent class, or here in our student parent class. We also got here a line which is part or also part of our student parent class, which is the setters. So this will allow the user to set or input a saving goals, and then yun nga, um, once the user input a value in here, it will be passed on these setters in our student parent class, which is in here. So next is let's proceed to the another line. So here we got the new line. So this will instantiate or object. So these are the declaration, the identifier, the instantiation, and then the initialization. So this is where the all types of expenses inputted by the user will be go and passes to the um, all these types of child classes. So after that, we also got in here the total expenses. So total expenses naman will be computed later on. So after here, we got the line which will allow the user to input what type of expenses she or he will input. So we get three types in here. We get the food, commuting, and then the entertainment. We also got here a line which will the user input the amount. After each, the user type the type of expenses he will inputted. Then we also here got the condition, the if and else if, which will determine what of or what type of expenses will the user input and then pass it to the corresponding child class. Then after that, we also got here a formula which will determine or calculate the total expenses. So these total expenses are from here, and this amount are from here, which again, after the user input the amount, it will be passed on our expense parent class. Then later on will be called in here, which calculate the total expenses in our line 39, which is here. So next, for the last remaining part of our main method, so we got here the printing part. So first of our line in here is a calling of a method from our student parent class, which is the calculate weekly allowance, which is here, which is daily allowance times school days. Then after that, you got the another formula for remaining budget. So this is for subtracting the total allowance, which is from here to the total expenses from the line 39, which is here. Then after that, the rest of the last part of our program will just print the rest of the needed information or what our program are capable of. So these methods can be seen on the student parent class, like to get school days, get saving goals, etc. And then the total expenses from the formula um, that exists or we made in our main method. So that's the rest for our program, and thank you. I hope you learn.
So this is the summary of our program, or our PPT. In conclusion, we managed to think and create a simple program which strictly follow the instructions of object-oriented programming or OOP principles, such as inheritance and encapsulation, which promote code reusability and organization. The use of classes and subclasses allows for a clear structure in managing student information and expenses. Additionally, the program emphasizes user interaction through input validation and calculations, fostering an understanding of how to create practical applications that address real-world financing management needs.